Hi guys, this is Matthias and I'm coming at you here with another H1Z1 video, and in this video I'd like to focus on the just survive aspect of the game and where the game is going. Now the question where the game is going is something that a lot of players have been asking themselves for quite a while now. The game was released the 15th of January 2015, and according to the Wikipedia it was supposed to be released in the second quarter of 2016. Now, the community of H1Z1 has always been rather divided. The two biggest groups, if you want to categorize the players into different groups, are the ones that play either Battle Royale, or King of the Kill as it's called now, or the survival version of the game, which is what this video is going to be focused on, just survive. Now, the survival players in H1Z1 has also always been rather divided, and here you can put players in several different categories actually. But the two biggest groups would probably be the ones that either are the ones that wants to focus on the PvP aspect of the game. Some people consider this kill on sight or COS. And then you have the other category of players that wants to focus on this game more on the PvE aspect of it and role-playing. Even though role-playing and PvE are two different things, I would put these players in the same category for this video only. Now, the reason why I would like to categorize it this way is because there's always been a very strong tension between those players that wants to focus on killing other players and those players that wants to focus on working together and playing against the environment. So as the game is being developed, there are changes that can be made that makes this game more interesting for PvP players, where killing other players is the main focus of the game, or it can be made so that it's more interesting to focus on surviving in this harsh environment and surviving the environment itself and working together. So now the way I see it, there are two main things that makes a big difference here. One of them being what kind of loot it spawns and how much of it, especially when it comes to weapons and ammo. The more weapons and ammo, of course, the more the game will be leaning towards PvP, while things that can push the game in the other direction towards PvE, this would be to lower the amount of weapons and ammo that spawns and increase the harshness of the environment. In this case, since it's a zombie survival game, the number of zombies and the danger that they possess in terms of hit points per zombie and how fast they move, their intelligence or their AI, and how much damage they will do towards you as a player. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, the zombies and the loot spawns, is because these are the two subjects that has been discussed the most, at least the way I see it, on the forum side Reddit. We have also, during the time that we've been playing this game in early access, seen a lot of changes to these two features. Now, among these two types of just survive players, it seems to me that the role players, so to speak, are the most vocal ones, actually by far. Now, whether this is true or not, or whether this is just my experience, it actually makes certain sense, because role players, they don't really interfere with the way cosplayers or PvP players wants to play the game. As a matter of fact, role players normally makes it actually easier for PvP players to have the kind of fun they want, and I believe that many times the role players feels like the PvP players are having their fun on their expense. Now, killing a defenseless target that isn't even trying to shoot you back seems like, to a lot of players, probably like the most boring way that you could possibly play a game. But there are a lot of players that actually enjoy killing people no matter what. However, the people that would prefer to play this game as a role player, they normally do not appreciate this one bit. And this is where, the way I see it, the rage begins. Now, people being angry with each other over an online game is something that happens all the time. No matter what game it is, this is just very, very common. However, the problem that I see here is when these types of reactions and emotions has a rather big influence on the direction of where the game is going. And unfortunately, I believe that that's what we've seen a lot with H1Z1. And I also want to point out that this was my experience with the previous game that was made by Daybreak Game Company, former Sony Online Entertainment. And this game is called Planetside 2. And I almost made it sound like the game doesn't exist anymore. Planetside 2 is still played, and it is still an active game. It's free to play, and you can download it and start playing it whenever you would like. Now, there's of course no numbers or statistics on how many players or how big of a percentage of the player base that wants to focus on either PvP or PvE or role-playing. But it seems to me that as H1Z1 has lost a massive portion of its player base, a part of the reason can be because the developers are listening more to people that are very, very vocal rather than checking out how people actually want to play the game and what people think is fun. Now, the last couple of months, we have seen a lot of changes actually to the zombies themselves. Now, you gotta keep in mind that all these changes are valuable time and money that is spent by Daybreak Game Company, and we always have to ask ourselves, is that time and money spent in the right area? Now, I've seen the changes that has been made to the zombies, I've covered it, and as much as there are some cool and interesting changes that has been made, to me personally and to a lot of the people that I've been talking to, it doesn't really make the game more interesting. It doesn't really make the game more worth playing, and I really don't see how these changes to the zombies are going to attract more players, whether it's new players that haven't played the game in the past, or whether it's players that have taken a break from the game because of whatever disappointment or for whatever other reason. Now, the main big difference is that Daybreak Game Company, former Sony Online Entertainment, is facing with H1Z1 that they didn't have to face, at least not in the same degree, with Planetside 2, is competition. And what I mean by that is that when an H1Z1 player is disappointed with the game, that player still have some options for playing survival games such as Rust, Miscreated, DayZ, and whatnot. When me and some of my friends got bored with Planetside 2, we didn't really have anything similar to go to, and switching game for us would be to completely switch genre. And this is something that probably makes a lot of people in the Planetside 2 community stay within that game a lot longer than in H1Z1, where you have options. Now, when it comes to these other options, the only other survival game that I have actually truly played is Rust. And there is a lot of players that have decided to play Rust or some other survival games, but mostly Rust instead of H1Z1 among the people that I have been playing with or the people that I've been talking to. And the most interesting thing about this is, why would people choose another game over H1Z1? Now, the answers for me and most of the people that I've been talking to has been two things. It's the PvP aspect of Rust, and it is the base building. Now, it's very hard to say that one thing is better than another. Most of this is only just based on opinions, but I think one of the most important problems that H1Z1 has is the lack of a good primitive combat system. Any combat that is not related to firearms is just very boring in this game. At least, that's my opinion. And I think that in a game that is set in an apocalyptic scenario, the primitive aspect of the game needs to be more important, it needs to offer more variety, and it needs to be, to some degree, exciting. For a long time, things that I would have liked to see introduced to the game are stuff like blowpipes, slingshots, throwables such as, I don't know, bolas and darts and throwing knives. The bows and the crossbows should be much more lethal weapons. Unfortunately, I think the movement penalties for the bows are way too big, and as I've mentioned earlier, whatever buff that I would like to see for bows could be in the form of new arrows, new types of arrows that just makes the bows a lot better. So as much as progress, changes and feedback is important for the game's development, that is not the only reason why we have seen such a massive decline in players in H1Z1. I have always believed, and I still do believe, that the main reason why most players that have left the game have done so is because of cheaters. After that, I believe bugs and bad performance is somewhere on the second and third place. This bug that you see me experiencing here with this new zombie is something that I hope will be fixed before it comes live and before most of you guys gets to encounter this particular new zombie. Oh shit! Oh shit! No 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 no, I'm dead. Fuck. So now I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons why I have been very frustrated with Just Survive is the wolves. They have started to really get to me, and I've noticed by reading on the forums that I'm not the only one. And I'm sorry, adding new animations to the wolves when you're fighting it with your fists isn't making it better at all. Even though sometimes it's fun to look at silly animations once or twice. Now, there's been some talk from Daybreak Game Company about introducing more wildlife, but it seems like they choose to go with more zombies instead. Whether this is something positive or negative, I guess that is mostly just based on opinions. now as the updates rolls out, we see some bugs being fixed, some bugs remain, and some new bugs arrives. Unfortunately, here is where a big portion of the community see a lack of progress. We don't really see the game improving in this regard. It's either a new bug that came with whatever new patch, or like in this case, where you see me crashing to desktop after cutting down a tree. Another very familiar bug is when NPCs, in this case a bear, is stuck in a wall. In the beginning here I was a bit nervous that the bear was going to get loose or even just kill me as it was standing, but as I got closer and started swinging my axe towards it or my hatchet, I realized that we could not damage one another. So, are we ever going to see the H1Z1 that most of us have been hoping for such a long time? Now, I'm pretty sure that there will be some people that will agree with the statements and the observations that I've made in this video, while others will not. Maybe you have a very different point of view and a lot of different opinions about why you believe that the players have left H1Z1 as much as they have. Either way, I welcome your feedback in the comment section below, and I want to thank you all for watching.